What I want to talk about today is a question that we get a lot with small and local businesses that are trying to make a comeback in 2021 after what was a rather rough year being 2020. How do I launch my business into the online world? I think there are 5 key steps for any business to take when they feel like, hey, I need to get into the online world, or I need to be better at doing business online. If you are a brick and mortar store and you have not yet really thought about how you could do better business online, especially after this COVID-19 pandemic, then this video is for you. If you're a business that does all of your business online, or you've already been doing it for several years, this video I think is still applicable to you. There's a couple points that maybe you can pull from this that'll be valuable. So there are 5 steps that I say to any business before they kind of launch into that digital universe. Step number 1 seems obvious, but important. Get your domain, right? So what is a domain? Your www.bigredjelly.com, your URL. It is your identity on the internet. There is only one of those, right? There's only one bigredjelly.com. When you buy your domain, you have now reserved that turf on the internet. It is priceless, right? So if you are thinking about going into doing business online, or you're saying, gee, I've been meaning to get a website, or I might want a website in the future, first things first, go get a domain. They're not that expensive. Most domains, they can vary anywhere from 15 to 25 bucks a year, usually. Depends on if it's like a common name. Like if you were to go look for a domain that's, thebusinessattorney.com, that's probably going to be thousands of dollars. So you have to get creative with it, but most unique domains are very cheap. People are often shocked, like, wait a second, this isn't per month, this is per year. Yeah, it should only be a couple of bucks a year. So you can go to digital.bigredjelly.com and you can find your perfect domain name right here. It'll tell you if it's available or not. Let's type in a website really quick. Let's do Josh's Jambalaya.com. Let's see if that's available. Look, there it is. I've got Josh's Jambalaya. I've got Josh Jambalaya, joshsjambalaya.net, .org, .com, .co. So this is actually a pretty cool tool because it will also show you some variations. So the .com might be taken, but the .co might be available, or the .org. I do recommend looking into that to seeing, well, if the .com's taken, it might be via a competitor. It might be worth thinking of a different name, right? So, but this is a great tool to be able to show you if it's available, and then right from here you can select the domain of your liking, register the domain, and you're good to go. By the way, that's $18 a year. That's not per month. All right, moving on to number 2 is once you've got your domain, go set up your communication channels correctly. I see this a lot, especially with small businesses. I understand that it might be a little overwhelming at first, but once you have your domain, you can sign up for or set up business email, right, or online storage. So instead of joshbigredjelly@gmail.com, it's just josh@bigredjelly.com. It really does make your email look that much more professional. When I get a business email or an inquiry, or someone wants to do business with me, to be honest with you, and it still is at Gmail or at Yahoo, it's just a real quick indicator to me that their business probably isn't a big business. It's not large, it's not growing. So it may seem minor, but it is important. You can even go back to digital.bigredjelly.com. You can go to Workspace Tools, and if you're a Microsoft 365 guy or gal, you can go there, Workspace email. Or if you're a Gmail or Google Workspace person like myself, you can go to Google Workspace and you can sign up for business email there. On that same note, with email, I recommend setting up a business phone number as well. I see a lot of small business owners that are still using their mobile phone number. I'll tell you why that's an issue. When you inevitably change to a business phone, like when you add people to your team and you can't just keep using your mobile phone number forever, you'll have to switch to a new phone number. And if it's been several years that you've been using your mobile phone number and then you switch to a different phone number, your SEO is going to take a hit. And you're going to have to reprint and redesign so many more assets. So why not go get a business phone number now if you're serious about your business, right? So I recommend tools like Google Voice, where they used to have a free version. I'm not sure if they do anymore, but it's as cheap as like $10 to $20 a month for a business phone number, again, that's unique to you. So that was one of the first things we did when we set up Big Red Jelly. I knew I didn't want to use my personal phone number, and I also, again, wanted to look a little bit more professional than my personal number. So I got a Google Voice number, and then I just had it go forward to my personal phone number until our team grew, right? So very easy to do, Google Voice. There's a lot of alternatives out there as well. So set up your communication channels. Once you get your domain, set up your communication channels. It really does make a difference. Number 3 is your brand, right? Now, I'm not going to dive into this too much, but once you have your domain, your communication channels are set up, take some time and control your brand, right? Which goes back to point number 1 here. Improve your brand, take control of your brand. I can't tell you how much of an effect it has when your email signature, your website, your business cards, even the little things like this favicon up here is the logo. You have a business email, you have a business phone number, you have at least a shirt with your logo on it. These little details really add to your brand story. They add to your brand loyalty. They make you stand out, and people will inevitably take you more serious and want to do business with you. So improve your brand, take control of your brand. That's when you can hire someone like Big Red Jelly, for example, or anyone for that matter, to help you design a logo, get a brand style guide. What's your messaging? What are your do's and don'ts? Your colors, your typography, those types of things. Figure that stuff out early so you have a consistent marketing and advertising going forward. Okay, after brand, of course, our favorite topic, or one of our favorite topics, website. Go in and get your website created. I'm not saying you have to hire an expert right out of the gate. You can use a really easy, affordable website builder like Wix or Squarespace, for example. Very easy drag and drop websites. If you're a little bit more skilled, you maybe dabble in WordPress. If it's an e-commerce, you might want to use Shopify, but there's a lot of really great tools and platforms out there. But when you are ready, I do recommend reaching out to an expert or a team like Big Red Jelly and having a professional design and build your website. It really can take your business to the next level. Okay, once those steps are done, right? And a lot of businesses have those steps done. They say, Josh, I've got my domain. I've got my email and phone number set up. My brand, overall, I'm pretty happy with it. My website is done. Now what? People sometimes will jump straight into the marketing and advertising, but I think there's a half a step there that a lot of people forget. Once you have these things done, in other words, your business information is complete, your brand is there, it looks nice, your website is done, it's time to list and manage. Those 2 words, list and manage your business. List and manage, right? So for example, Josh's Jambalaya. If I have a restaurant, I've got my domain, communications, brand, website's done. I'm going to now list my business and I'm going to manage those listings. I recommend for all small business owners that you manage your listings for a while. So what do I mean by listings? If I'm a restaurant, number 1 thing I'm going to go get listed on, you've heard me talk about this many times before, is Google My Business. It's your Google listing. It's what makes you show up on Google Maps. It's what makes you show up on Google Search. Local search especially. It's where you manage your reviews, you add your phone number, your website link. People can talk about you, people can message you, they can see posts, etc., etc., etc. So get listed on Google, get listed on Facebook, get listed on LinkedIn, Instagram, go get listed on Yelp, go get listed on maybe some other platforms that would be important for your industry. But if I'm a restaurant owner, I would say the top 3 or 4 are definitely Google My Business, Facebook, Yelp, Instagram, probably in that order, right? Once they're listed there, now you can go through and guess what? You can add your professional information now. Email, phone number, short description, logo that's been done. Your brand is on point. So now you have your website and all of these major listings or marketplaces where the people are. Now it's time to just manage those listings, right? Now each one's different. Managing your Facebook listing is managing your Facebook page, right? Posting, sharing reviews, etc., etc. But also managing your Google My Business listing. This enables you to do a couple of things. Number 1, you get to better understand how these platforms work. And number 2, it will give you really key insights into who your customers are, your audiences, and how your business should perform online, so that when you are ready to start running ads or do marketing or hire an agency perhaps, you've already got a fundamental understanding of how these platforms work, right? So when you've gone through all of these steps, your domain, communications, brand, website, it's time to start listing your business on some really important marketplaces. Make sure they look accurate. Make sure they're updated. If you already have your business listed, now's a great time to go through and do a little bit of a refresh. I think it's important for the business owner or a manager to go out and actually list the business on these platforms. Get used to managing them for a while, just posting now and then, sharing updates, etc., and then you can start to market and advertise. So those would be my 5 steps. Just to review: get a domain, set up your business communications, control your brand, build your website, and then list and manage your business on your own, at least for a short period. Thanks you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to go to bigredjelly.com/comeback to download the free guide, and you can read about all of these points in more detail. And then you can schedule a free consultation with us if you like. Thank you.